everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. It's Going Turns. So today I did things a little bit differently. Today is Saturday and it is date night, y'all, and we are going to be visiting a state. We're doing another one of my destination date nights here. Okay, so I just am doing things a little bit differently. It's later in the day. I got all my stuff prepped and all I have to do now is just put everything together, because today we're going to be visiting the great state of Alabama. And most of Alabama foods are like comfort foods, in my opinion. They have a large, don't get me wrong, there's lots and lots of things to make from Alabama. But the things that I really love that Alabama has is some of the stuff that I'm gonna be making today. So they have a very diverse menu, just like everyone else does, you know, everybody else. But I just am a soul food type person, and they have a lot of soul food. Slavery is very deeply embedded in the Alabama history. Okay, so we're gonna be doing some recipes that are soul food recipes that will be really good, and it's not gonna take long to cook them. So my husband is at work today. He's not home yet, and he was supposed to be cutting up. We bought a whole chicken because it was cheaper to buy a whole chicken than it was to buy pieces of chicken. Crazy. And so I was like, well, why don't we just do like an 8-piece? So he's going to come in at some point when he gets home and do the 8-piece chicken. He's going to cut that whole chicken up, break it down, and we're going to fry it up, make it some smothered chicken. I already got my rice made. And we just going to get on with eating tonight. So he's going to get in a little bit later, but we still going to have our date night, because you cannot, you see this? You cannot not do this, okay? This is something that you should always do. Keep the romance in your relationship, no matter how long. If it's been 2 minutes, try to keep the romance in your relationship, and that's what we are doing here today. So before we get into cooking what we're gonna be cooking here today, because this is why you came, I know that's why you came, but we got to discuss some facts about the state of Alabama. They have so many firsts that were done in that state, and we're gonna talk about some of the first things that were ever done in the state of Alabama. It was the first thing ever done in the United States that were done in that state. So Alabama, thumbs up. Okay, I did cut one of my nails. I was doing like the butter, slice one of my nails. I had to shave it off. Okay, it did not get in my stuff, but I did. It was hanging off. Okay, so I was giving you the thumbs up. All right, now let's talk about Alabama. And yes, that was my phone. Okay, so they have a lot of firsts, and they have invented lots of things. So did you know that the first 911 call was made in Alabama? It was actually made on February 16th of 1968. That's actually really recent. Listen, I worked in EMS. I was an EMTB. My husband was an EMTP. EMTB is EMT basic. My husband was an EMTP, which is EMT paramedic. Now, I went on and got the nursing degree. I became a registered nurse. My husband he was an EMTB as well, but then he went on and got his paramedic. So I had no clue that the first 911 call was made in 1968. So that's something cool to know. And that was done in Alabama. Also, the first electric trolley system was started in Alabama in 1886. Also, they had the first flight school. The first rocket to the moon was from the NASA Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. It built the Saturn booster for the Apollo 11 mission. The first Christmas holiday was declared in Alabama in 1836. Okay, and then the first open heart surgery in the Western Hemisphere was performed in Alabama. And I think that was performed by a black man, if I am not mistaken. A lot of the firsts in medicine were done by black people. So that is not my opinion. Those are facts. As you see, it followed in the state of Alabama. We had some firsts there. So Alabama is a very interesting state. Now, in the next video, when we do our chicken, we got to talk about some of them laws, because the laws always get me with these states. Okay, the strange laws. Okay, so what we are going to be doing here today, what you came here today for, is we're going to be making some sweet potato hand pies with a nice glaze, and then I'm going to do some candied pecans. A couple candied pecans to go on top. So it's going to be something really good. All right, and so I made my dough here, and this is literally made with graham crackers. So this is a graham cracker pie crust, and it should go perfect with our sweet potato pies. So we're making sweet potato hand pies here today with graham cracker crust. All right, so I have probably about a half cup of boiled sweet potatoes. I boiled these this morning, and so we're gonna doctor these up a bit and get them stuffed in some of our pie shell here. Okay, so I have my sweet potatoes. And then I saved some because I'm going to be probably using those to make another side to go with our soul food dinner here from the state of Alabama. Okay, so I'm going to mash up my potatoes. And I don't want to get all the potatoes mashed because I do like me some lumpy potatoes. I love lumpy sweet potatoes, especially in your pie. Okay, so I'm going to mix that up a little bit there. And I do have this egg that I'm using for egg wash, but I'm going to go ahead and just get that a little quick whisk. And then I'm going to pour just a little bit of my egg in my sweet potato mixture. And there's probably about half of an egg in there. And then I have some heavy whipping cream. I'm going to put in a couple tablespoons. We have some vanilla extract. You're going to put in just a dash of vanilla extract, maybe an 1/8 teaspoon. Okay, we're going to put in a couple tablespoons of brown sugar. And a couple tablespoons of sugar. And then you're going to mix this up. Mix it well. And I know this is a little bowl. I always do this. I don't know why, y'all. I just have a thing. Maybe I have a bowl handicap. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to get this mixed up, and then we're going to roll out our dough. All right, so let me unwrap my dough. So really not going to need all of this. I'm going to cut this in half here. I got my surface lightly floured. Cut that in half. Now, let's go ahead and push this down here. And then I'm going to grab my rolling pin. We're going to roll and cut. All right, let's move this. Let's roll this out. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful Saturday. I have been home all day. If you have not checked out my TikTok page, check that out. We have been having some great conversations over there about the city that I live in. And we're going to take this to other cities because y'all need to learn the histories of y'all cities, all this ancient history that we got hidden that's just sitting around and ain't nobody trying to discover it. You know what I'm saying? And so we've been discovering it. So I'm rolling out my dough. Let me get a little bit more flour to dust. All right, so I got my dough rolled out. Now I want to cut out circles here. I'm going to do 2. Because we're just going to make 2 nice size pies. Maybe 3, because then I can get one to my mom and stepfather. They can split one. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get this up. Okay, there's one. Let me cut 2 more. I think I'll be able to cut 2 more. And then we're going to stuff these and I'm going to bake my pies. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to make some candy pecans. I'm going to take a couple tablespoons of pecans because we don't need a lot of them for this, just to go on top of 3 pies. But I'm going to put a little bit of a couple tablespoons of pecans in my pan, about a tablespoon of brown sugar, and a tablespoon of butter. And then I'm going to put this on my eye here and let this candy, it becomes candy, should make candied pecans. Okay, so let's get a little bit of butter. My brown sugar. Oh, honey. Okay, about a tablespoon of brown sugar. And then we're going to melt this down, and this is going to go on the top of our sweet potato hand pies. All right, now we're going to fill the pies here. We got our mix, sweet potatoes. Just make sure I got it all mixed together. All right, now we're going to put a nice amount here in the middle. And I'm going to split this up evenly between the 3 of these. I'm gonna start with this one first since it's closer to me. Kind of stretch it out a little bit. Let's get it stretched. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. You want to fold it over. Let's hit them edges. I should have did that first. You should hit your edges first. All right, now you want to fold that over. These are gonna be filled. So we're gonna clean them up because I'm not gonna take any of my filling out. They're gonna be filled all the way to the brim. You'll see what I mean here. So I'm gonna take that around, bend it over. Okay, so you wanna make sure you got those sealed. Press really nicely together. I'm gonna remove this just cause it is a little bit extra. And I'll put that in my sweet potatoes that I'm gonna be making today. So push down around them edges like so. And then we're gonna move this and just remove the excess. Because like I said, I want these filled to the brim. So now let's move them back. Take your fork, crimp. See that part? I'm gonna fix that. Oops. All right, y'all. So my graham cracker pie crust sweet potato hand pies or out of the oven. I made a little bit of icing for them with some powdered sugar, vanilla extract, and a little bit of heavy cream. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop that over the tops here because we're gonna spread it out, get it spread out. And they're still just a little bit warm because they were sitting in the oven for a long time. So this should melt perfectly over the tops. This crust is got graham cracker crumbs in it, so it should be really good. It should be like a sweet potato pie with graham cracker crumbs, you know, like with a graham cracker crust. Okay, so you want to scoop over your, I'm scooping, I'm not dipping today because I don't want them to fall apart. So I'm gonna let them sit here, let the icing set on them. But before we let that icing set, we're gonna put some candied pecans on top. Let me get those, and they're sitting right behind them. I'll let those cool. So while they're still wet with the icing, you take your candied pecans and put a couple of those on top. Candied sweet pecans. Make them look cute and taste good. This would be something cool to make on for Thanksgiving. And we doing this on our date night. You see how we go all out for y'all? We go all out for us, but you know, y'all watch. So it's for you too, you know? All right. So here are our finished sweet potato hand pies with candied pecans and graham cracker pie crust. What? I'm gonna show y'all what they look like inside once we're eating these for dessert. But this is what we were having tonight for day night dessert in Alabama. All right, y'all, we're gonna serve up date night dinner. So I got some rice here. I'm gonna get a scoop of rice. Put that on my plate there. We got sweet potatoes. Put some of those down there. Fried cabbage. Turn this off. I was just heating that up. Go ahead and put some of that fried cabbage down there. And then Alabama style smothered fried chicken. You're going to go ahead and lay that on there. Hit it with a little bit of that gravy. Just a little bit of gravy. All right. And then we're going to get some of our spoon bread here. Homemade honey spoon bread. Scoop out some. Because it's spoon bread. Go ahead and put that there on the side. Alabama style date night dinner tonight. We got our smothered Alabama style fried buttermilk chicken. Sweet potatoes. Fried cabbage with bacon and carrots. Spoon bread. Smothered chicken and rice. And then for dessert, where them pies go? We got homemade sweet potato pie with graham cracker crumb crust. Hand pie. These are baked with glaze and some candied pecans. What? Let me cut one of these so y'all can see what they look like in the middle here. Just cut one of them down the middle. Ooh. There we go. And then we got our homemade hand pies right here. All right, y'all. This is what we are having for dinner and dessert. What are you having? Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe.